Hey guys, be starting here in about 10 minutes. All right. I hope everybody can hear me okay. Yeah, so this is the first developer chat of 2022. So, as always, if you have any questions, just drop them in chat or drop them in the question and answers panel in Zoom. And I'm going to go through release notes that were dropped this morning and go through updates we've been making to our system. So, yeah, I'll start with Shopify. We had a couple of issues that were fixed. So sometimes for our catalog, we were actually pushing products twice. Hopefully that wasn't too much of an inconvenience for anyone, but we notice it happens sometimes, and we've got a fix in for that. And we've also got a new feature to make sure that you're using the correct Shopify location with BinderPOS. I'm actually going to demonstrate that one real quick. Pretty sure I've got it here. So if we go into point of sale settings, we've got a new tab here, which is location settings. And what that's actually going to do is that's going to ping Shopify and get all of the locations that you have on Shopify. And it's going to let you select the default one. So basically what this is doing is this is the one that BinderPOS is going to update. Let's see. Can't see the share. I am totally not sharing my screen. Let me fix that. Sorry about that, guys. Now all my chat and everything went away. Let me get that back up. Sweet. There we go. Okay. I will go back to the beginning. Yeah, so we've got a feature where you can now update the default location in BinderPOS. And so basically this is the location that BinderPOS is going to update your inventory. So shouldn't affect a lot of customers because most everyone only has one location in Shopify. But if you've come on previously having had Shopify, sometimes there's like old locations and things that can get into BinderPOS, and this will cause issues with buy list, CSV imports, and advanced inventory not updating stock. And so you'd have to reach out to your account manager and kind of get that fixed manually. Well, we've got it now on the system where you can take care of that yourself. So if you go to the settings tab, you'll see we got location settings here now. And what this is going to do is this is going to pull all the locations from Shopify and let you select which one you want to use with BinderPOS. Now, we definitely want to make sure that is the default location in Shopify matches what location is selected here in BinderPOS. So actually let me see if I can actually pull up a Shopify and show you guys how to check that. I'm just getting logged in on my other monitor here. Been having a little bit of issue logging in today, so just want to make sure I get that one here. Here we go. So just an example, a BinderPOS store here. So if you go to settings and you go to locations, you see this one actually has two. Should really only be one because BinderPOS can get a little bit confused if you start using secondary locations with inventory in them. But what you want to do is you want to make sure if you have like old deactivated locations here or whatever, you want to make sure that this one Charmin Place default matches what you have selected here. It's a different account, so the locations don't match up. And so you can just select one and you can save it and you should be good to go. So this is really just kind of a one-time step that you need to do if you have to change your locations on Shopify for some reason. And I'm sure the account managers would be able to point anyone in the right direction if you're having related issues. So we got some other updates. Stock can now be pushed after an order is complete. That's actually for the buy list module. We go into buy list and we go to complete buy lists. I believe you can actually go and uncomplete a buy list. So sometimes people will push buy lists and forget to push stock or forget to apply the store credit, and it would get stuck incomplete. and we'd get a lot of tickets in if people requesting us to uncomplete them, which we can do. But now we've given that power to you. So anytime you need to go into your completed buy list and uncomplete one to make a change or update stock or things like that, you can do that. See, add user button has been added to the main user list page. So that's actually, so you can leave add customer. No, I'm thinking of users. I'm thinking of customers. Actually, I mean users. So you can go to users here and you can add a user. Old legacy events will be removed from the point of sale. So we should have a job that's basically going back and looking at events that were created a long time ago and removing them. So this hasn't been an issue for many people, but for some of our older customers, it is basically kind of causing issues in the point of sale where you search for, Friday Night Magic and you're pulling events from a long time ago. This should be resolving that, but this is also was a pretty limited bug. So if anyone still experiences some weirdness with searching for events or have any ideas on how searching for events in the point of sale can be improved, definitely shoot that our way because we're open to suggestions there. We've got an issue where the advanced search was cutting off some of the filter results. And I believe that looked like this. Always takes a little bit for advanced search to load. So yeah, I think what was happening was some of these product types and things were getting left off for some customers. So hopefully not experiencing that anymore. And issue where events couldn't be searched in the point of sale. Again, that one was kind of minor. Fix an issue where zero values in advanced search update were appearing as blanks. So this is a really important one. So let's just search for a card. I'll demonstrate what that looks like. Ooh, calendar and POS, please. Yeah, that is a good idea. Just have it on maybe the front splash page or something, the way it looks on your website. Or on the point of sale, and then you could just like select the event on that day, kind of like quick links, but just kind of having a calendar sitting down there. Maybe that would be helpful. Anyway, yeah. So if we do an override, let's do a percentage. I think that would work. So if we do 0 here, and I update that, and I apply filters. Uh-oh. Oh, I was looking at the wrong card. Here we go. So you can see the 0 actually persisted. So what was happening before is any of these boxes that had 0 in it, it was actually just showing up as blank. That was a regression that we introduced a while back without realizing it. So now you can actually tell, hey, this has a 0 override. That's not super common, but definitely needs to show a 0 if it's 0 and a blank if it's a blank. So if you need to remove override, you can do that. And you can see how if you'd put a 0 in before and then this showed up as blank, you'd kind of get stuck. So that should be resolved now. See, got some positive vibes about the calendar and the point of sale. Yeah, that would be pretty awesome. And in the add event screen would be good too, similar to Event Link. Okay, yeah. Definitely noting that feedback. That'd be a pretty good way of searching through events instead of just having to search for them by name in the point of sale. And if you had your event calendar, here you could pretty much see where you're planning stuff. So yeah, I'll bring that one up. That's a pretty solid idea. So let's see. So that was a 0 values issue. Fix an issue trying to delete an event with participants gives an error. So I think the situation there was you could delete events, but if they had participants tied to them, that kind of cause an error because it's trying to delete something that has participants attached to it, and it caused an error with our system. So we've got that resolved now too, I believe. And I think basically we're just archiving that event. So the participant list and stuff is still there. It's just kind of in a recycle bin type situation. Fix an issue where the buy list CSV was not delimiting strings correctly. Dylan, if you're in here, I think you actually sent this one in. Let's see, go to buy list. None of these buy lists are going to have Yu-Gi-Oh in them, but there were some Yu-Gi-Oh cards that have, or even Magic cards, like Akon's Run has like double quotes in the title. And when you export the CSV, this is actually just kind of happening in your browser. And so the way the browser was exporting the CSV is it didn't wrap everything in quotes, or it did wrap everything in quotes, but that confused it on which column was which. And so there's a proper way to do that by escaping quotes. And Pete, our awesome front end guy who does most of the work that you're looking at here, got that one fixed up. So if you export a buy list that has items that have double quotes in the name, it won't mess it up anymore. So see, fix an issue where the error modal was not completely dismissed in some cases. So if you guys ever get an error pop up in the portal, and sometimes it persists, it can happen if we're having connection issues or an outage or something like that. That should be a little bit less frustrating, or it doesn't kind of make the system stuck and you have to refresh. Customer list was refactored for increased performance. So that's not really a visual change. But if we go to customers here, this has been totally rewritten in a way that's a little bit more performant. Let's see what we got in the chat. Let's see. Got some kiosk questions. On the customer-facing kiosk version of the point of sale, could the buy and sell buttons be reversed? That makes a lot of sense. Yep, Dylan, is that Max C card? That's right. Yeah, kiosk to toggle between buy and sell for the customer. Yeah. Also, customers who want to filter to show only in-stock Magic cards, but the keyword Magic only gives cards of all types. So there's kind of two things here. Well, there's three things here. One is, the buy and sell button on the kiosk is exactly the same as it is on the point of sale, and so those verbs don't make sense for your customers. So when they're buying, they're really selling, and when they're selling, they're really buying. So yeah, this is definitely something we'll want to swap around. Probably we won't just swap it. We'll probably make it a little bit more verbose. So definitely want to get that in. See, what else was it? Kiosk to toggle between buy and sell. So it looks like we've got some searching. So some recommendations for the search here in the kiosk, and that's also going to carry over to the point of sale. But adding some ways we can filter out by product type. I know in stock, out of stock is a really big one that we're working on. So yeah, anything that comes to the point of sale is going to come to this. So yeah, I think those already have features in our backlog to get addressed. And ProSol, rebuild the kiosk from the ground up, more like the website, less like point of sale. Yeah, I think there's kind of two approaches to kiosk. I know a lot of customers use it, use their website as kind of the kiosk in store, and then a lot of customers use this. So I mean, I think there's definitely room for some improvements later on in the future for the website to make it a little bit usable in that way. But like I said, that's something we'd kind of just have to look into. I know a lot of people do this. So if you've got any ideas of how the website could be used more like a kiosk, definitely shoot those features our way, and that's something we can look at implementing. So let's see what we got here. Fix the issue where advanced search wouldn't work properly with sealed products. So yeah, basically some of the sealed products weren't properly returning items. That's just for if you're using our sealed product catalog. There's just a some changes there we made that introduced a couple hiccups that should be resolved now. And so that was also the same issue if you're using eBay or the Channel Fireball Marketplace integration and you're having trouble making rules. That's because when you go and make those rules, you're using the same advanced search system. So let's see what we got. I use the website as kiosk, but am paying unnecessary fees. Yeah, that's a good one. That's definitely something that I'll make sure we have a discussion about. Because if you're using it in store, yeah, does that constitute? Yeah, I'm not sure. That would be somewhat above my pay grade, but I'll make sure that gets brought up. We use the website as our kiosk, and our biz complaint is how much input is required from the customer on checkout. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, an interesting idea. And this is just an idea, but an interesting idea would be like if there was a way to like build a cart on the website, like open it in the point of sale. That's something we've talked about in the past. I don't know if there'd be a demand for that, but if that's something that would be useful, I could certainly put it on the features board. Might make it easier to just build a cart and you can just look up that customer and they have a cart and waiting, kind of like the in-store kiosk. Again, just an idea. Let's see, user component was refactored for increase performance. So that was just like the customer component. It was refactored in a way that makes it work better, but doesn't really look any different. eBay fixed the issue where some items with product type instead of game were not listing because the image was invalid. So for those of you who use eBay Sync, I think there were some items that had images maybe were too large, something like that. I think that's been rectified. We've got a button now that will allow eBay users to re-authenticate their eBay integration account. See, if I have eBay set up on this one, I can show you. Well, so it's trying to get me to authenticate, but basically there's a button now that will let you get back to the screen if you need to, update the account you want to tie the integration to. See, read some more comments. See, from Dylan, I'd love it if we just had an alternate view of the site for kiosk users rather than using the kiosk mode. Okay, so kind of like a kiosk mode for the website instead of a kiosk mode for the point of sale. Yeah, I definitely see the merit in that. We'll definitely be having a discussion on our side about the kiosk soon because I know that's definitely something people have been giving us a lot of feedback about. So let's see, standard theme. So fix some issues with the store credit not being applied for customers in the new standard theme. So for those of you who have made the swap to the new standard theme or have been, begun that process, there's an issue pretty early on where some of the configurations of the new standard theme were causing some issues with the store credit. An issue where fonts would change on the use of big calendar. So if you use the big calendar component, I think that might actually be a premium theme feature there that just got misentered on these notes. But the big calendar was having some issues with fonts. There was an issue with the page footer. I think everyone remembers the day when all the credit card icons got really big if you use that theme. That's been resolved. And we fixed an issue with translations missing for some standard themes. So that wasn't every customer, but for some customers that had older configurations for previous themes, there were some translation files that were missing on things like gift card and some other ins and outs of the system that caused some liquid errors to appear when users would start using that part of the system. Yeah, so I think that just about wraps it up for this week's. See, where did my chat go? There we go. So I am now just opening this up for questions, feedback, anything anybody has, and yeah. How's the API? I'm still, we still haven't decided whether or not we'll be having a public API. But that's again not something I can answer. But I will say that we are working internally on a lot of better APIs. So there's the potential there for something in the future, but that would just be a business decision. So I wouldn't be able to comment on when or how that would be made available. I don't see the ability to apply store credit on the new standard theme while in the theme editor. Is this something that gets hidden in the editor? I believe that that is the case. So a lot of the BinderPOS functionality that gets added into the theme is kind of injected. And so depending on whether it's in preview mode or whether it's like the actual checkout, some things might not quite line up the same way. So um, if you go to the preview mode where it's actually like a full preview and not like you're not inside the WYSIWYG editor, it should work. So you can always test it that way. And if you got any issues, definitely throw a ticket in and we'll get that resolved for you. Let's see, I would like the search function that the website has be standard for POS and kiosk. Yep. No, that's definitely, like I said earlier, improving the search options for the point of sale to make that a little bit more fluid. The idea of the point of sale search is it's fast. So we kind of sacrifice some functionality for speed there. But I think there's definitely the option to make that configurable in the future. Any updates on store credit update for allowing it to be used as a gift card instead of discount? Yeah, it's, I know this is kind of the answer I give for a lot of stuff. It's in our pipeline. It's pretty high up there. We're just still getting through a lot of holiday catch up, and I mean that issue is pretty high up on the list because I know it's definitely affecting a lot of people in Canada and people in places where they've got some tax requirements for how store credit works. Let's see, John. Some of our customers are not super impressed with the new theme, having difficulty searching for cards, but maybe it's just a change or learning curve. I think it looks better, and it's a big plus. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it could be either of those things. Change is always hard, but at the same time, like it's a new theme, so there could be some issues there. If you have examples of these issues, even if your customers send you screenshots or something of something they're just having trouble with that they didn't have trouble with on the old theme, definitely send that in as a ticket. We've got a document where we kind of keep track of all the differences between the old standard theme and the new standard theme. And I mean, our goal is to make sure that there's definitely not a loss of functionality. This is a positive upgrade for everyone, but everybody uses the website a little bit different. They set it up a little bit differently, and so we do rely on that feedback to make sure that we're able to deliver the best for you. Let's see, how long until CSVs for other cards beside Magic will be standardized? And along the same line, about how long until BIOS rules will work with Digimon and MetaZoo? So I think what you're talking about there is kind of like how we have like Magic CSVs that let you use like the Scryfall ID, and things like that. It's hard to say. Magic's got a lot of those like kind of universal public IDs like Scryfall ID and things like that. Not too sure about Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, those sorts of games, as far as having like their own kind of format for CSVs. But I do know that there's a little bit of work going in on the CSV uploader, trying to make it a little bit more clear on how those formats work, and making sure that you've got a way to upload those singles if you need to. As far as buy list rules, so we are working on kind of a new buy list system. We talked about this last time a little bit. It's still in the early phases, but the idea there is this new buy list, one of its requirements is it'll definitely support anything you have in your system and not just certain card games that we support. So that'll out of the box include Digimon and MetaZoo. How well it works with those, whether it's, there's game specific stuff you can do, something we're still working on. But you will at least be able to set rules and list those things on your buy list. All right, I'm going to jump over because I've got a chat and I've also got a question and answer. So first one I've got here is from Nick and Lucy. Any updates on buy list 2.0? Yeah, I mean, we're still kind of in the early phases doing some exploration of some of the technologies we want to use and make sure our vision or whatever vision we come up with is technologically feasible. So there's been some pretty promising work on that front. Nothing to show for it quite yet, but we're excited that we're going to bring something out that's really going to be a lot better than the current system, and allow you to do a lot of stuff. I know a lot of you guys are kind of resorting to spreadsheets and doing a lot of manual work, trying to speed that up. So any use cases that any of you guys have that are just huge pain points on the current buy list, please submit them. Get them in, just send an email, support it, mtgbinder.co, send it in fresh chat, however you want to do it, because we've got a document where we're tracking those sorts of things too. Someone in Discord is asking if a Z report is in the works. I'm not sure what that means. I'm not sure what a Z report is. I might be totally ignorant on the industry thing, but I'm not sure what that means actually. Could a buy list CSV export be export a format that also use them to manipulate our inventory? Oh, I see. So like if you had a buy list, export it, so you could import it back into BinderPOS to the like CSV upload, or import it back to like change that buy list. That makes sense. So like if you were gonna like export it for later and just upload it through the normal system, or if you're gonna like actually edit the buy list and like use that to edit the buy list. I think the second one is possible. The first one, I'm not sure how possible that would be. Interface with the products tab. Yeah. So I think the current buy list system is it's a little bit different in how it uses data, and you see that a lot when you kind of see things look a little bit slightly different, product names and things like that in the buy list than they do in the point of sale. So there's just kind of some data differences there, but the new buy list system, that's one of the things we're hoping to overcome. So it might be possible after that. And as far as using it to edit what you see on the page, I mean, please submit that as a feature request. We can, I think it's definitely possible. It's just kind of whether or not, or that ends up on our priority list, or whether or not we can implement it quickly. Dylan with the hard questions. Any news on the inventory editor working for multiple locations? So we're always working in that direction. It's extremely tricky. Hopefully with that, if you're on here at the beginning of the call, but we looked at that feature where you can actually select the location that BinderPOS updates. So that's kind of one side of the equation that we've worked on getting worked out, is saying, hey, this is the location that BinderPOS is going to update when you change inventory. The flip side is us knowing what location to listen to whenever you update Shopify, and that's something we're still working out. We've definitely got someone on it, and so it's progressing in the right direction, but it's still going to be a pretty far way out from like the inventory editor. You've been able to select a location per line or something like that. Shopify's multi-location system was something they implemented after we kind of built a large part of BinderPOS's systems. So there's a lot of stuff we have to make sure is going to work just right for us to make that change, and we definitely have to be like super careful with inventory. So that's why we're being really slow and kind of careful about it. Is it's just one of those things that we want to make sure is addressed with like maximum attention. See, Dylan sent me a link. What is a Z report for restaurants? Your end-of-day cheat sheet. Best friend, what it is? Start over report. It's the last thing you review at the end of the day or the beginning of the next day with a fresh set of zeros. So it's like an end-of-day report. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Yeah, we've actually got a ticket for end-of-day report. I know we've got a couple of formats that people submitted that they would like. I will star this one. When we get to that point, yeah, like I'll definitely look at this article and kind of see how this looks like. It's kind of like the restaurant industry, so it's got like tips and things like that. But yeah, it'd certainly be interesting to see like a breakdown of like sales and buys and just kind of nice little end of day report. So we sort of have like a super bare minimum one, that shows you what tenders came in. But I think adding some information to that, certainly reasonable. It's just gonna have to kind of go on our feature request board like everything else. Let's see. Could there be an option to enlarge pictures when entering stock? It can be hard with Pokemon, especially since the same picture can be in several sets. Let's see, that would be on the advanced search. Helps me to look at it to kind of see. Oh yeah, I see what you mean. It's kind of tiny. Whoa. Okay, well, we don't want it that big. Yeah, long story short, yeah, it'd definitely be possible to do that. If you can send that in on Freshdesk as a feature request, I know that one is like definitely one of those like really quick ones that wouldn't take a lot of time. So might could be implemented pretty easily. Maybe a toggle, like I don't know, click on it to make it bigger, mouse over to make it large. I know we have mouse over in a lot of places. But yeah, the full size image is coming through, so it's just a matter of like a really minor change to get something like that. And to follow that, I see you put something in question. Is there any way we can get more info on the catalog changes that are happening in Magic and Pokemon, either by sharing a master doc on the destination or regular updates on changes? Has been difficult keeping up with moving our physical inventory to match the digital catalog. Yeah. And I'm assuming you probably mean set name changes. For those of you who have things organized by set name, I know I got some feedback from a few of you that like the promo sets and things like that were a headache when we changed the naming convention because it re-alphabetized, things where you would place them in boxes separated by set. Definitely. Now, hopefully those sorts of changes are not going to happen as much anymore. There just was this campaign where we kind of had to go through and fix a lot of stuff that wasn't quite up to the standards that we wanted. Going forward, I know that Stetson, our catalog manager, is working on a kind of update system to keep everybody in the loop on where things are at. There is a bit of a QA process that we also go through before we deploy things. So there's a chance we could figure out some sort of way, kind of like we have our release notes here. Trying to get some sort of ahead of time communication for catalog updates. So yeah, it's been talked about. And I know Jessica's here taking notes, so definitely put that one down, Jessica, on how we could make that process a little bit easier for everybody. Let's see, there'd be an option to enlarge picture. Oh yeah, gotcha. That one. Personal games. Ability to pull up buy lists or online orders as a cart in the point of sale. I have to fake out the point of sale to get the till to balance when dealing with cash. POS buy list needs to go to approved buy lists and portal and not just put into the inventory auto in the system. That's really good feedback actually. And something we definitely need to keep in mind with this new buy list system we're working on, because right now there's really almost two buy list systems. There's your online buy list system, which goes through pending, approval, complete, this whole workflow. And then there's your point of sale buy list, which just goes straight into inventory. Yeah, I think option of managing those in the same place is definitely the direction we want to go. And the ability to hand out cash or store credit or whatever in the point of sale for those. Because I know like the way you use this buy list is people submit buy lists online and they come and bring them into your brick and mortar store. You go through them, you review it. They probably want cash, and so once you accept it, you've got to give them the cash. I know some places are writing checks, some places PayPal, but some people, open the drawer, pull it out of the till, which requires a transaction to go through on the point of sale. And so somehow marrying that, yeah, I think would be pretty beneficial, because I imagine most people are probably handing out cash through the point of sale. And buy lists need to go to approved buy list and portal, not just an inventory system. Yeah, no, that makes sense too, because if you've got a large inventory, chances are you're not putting them straight in after you take cards in store. So being able to put them in a box or something and having a place where you can sort them, manage them, and get them actually into your inventory before you put them in the inventory. See. Are there plans to add a standard quantity indicator on the new standard theme, not having one on the quick add to cart pop-up? Yet having a quantity selector on it presents a very poor user experience. The pop-up message when you add beyond the stock is that is present offers no quantity indication. If you, let's see, we got a follow up here. A field displayed to let us know when a customer started a buy list would be cool. I have a customer who had a session open for 1.5 months and just submitted yesterday. So that kind of sucks. He's locked in some values that have changed since then. Yeah. So that one's I'm actually personally addressing that one right now. So with the new buy list system, that's something we want to address in a better way for the current buy list system. We're looking at very similar to the point of sale carts, having like an expiration. So in other words, if a cart has been inactive for an amount of time, it gets removed. And so when that user goes back to your website, there's just nothing there. And of course, that'd be something just like the point of sale cart you could enable or disable. Because we would get a few tickets of people getting buy lists in, and like the prices are just way out there. And what it is, it's a customer that had put something in and maybe got cold feet and said, I don't want to sell this yet. And then they came back, 6 months later, decided to sell it, and well, the cart's still saved. So it has all those buy list prices from 6 months ago, which is definitely not. It's a headache to go back and fix that and update the prices manually. So the best thing is probably just to remove that for now after a certain number of days, and then long term new buy list system, something a bit more clever, like being able to click a button and update all the prices, or, warning that says, hey, this buy list has prices from X amount of time ago, things like that. Because there's some of you might want to honor anything a customer submitted, not from 1.5 months ago, but if you submit something and then the buy list 3 days later there's a market swing, some of you might want to honor that. Some of you might have in your policy that actually, when we get the card shipped in, we're going to honor those days prices. And so being able to refresh all the prices, I think, is just a good thing to have anyway. So we're looking into that. See, being able to export the list as a CSV and import it would be nice, both on the front end and the back end. Yeah, no, that would be nice. Just kind of have a standard buy list format to be able to import and export. If customers wanted to fill it out, or you just wanted to edit a large buy list in an Excel. Because I think most store owners are pretty comfortable with Excel. I know I've seen a lot of crazy spreadsheets that you guys use for buy list rules. So I know that's the preferred way to price and build things. Yeah. There's Paul. I think. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, so like a customer to save a list they're working on. Yeah, and you could just save the list, and like the prices would just refresh, whenever you submitted, maybe something like that. All right. I'll give it a couple more minutes in case anyone's typing a big one. But I think that's pretty much all we have for today. Big things we're working on, buy list 2.0, which is kind of what we're internally calling it. It's definitely one of the things we're starting. There's still a lot of kind of internal API stuff we're working on just to be able to get minor features out faster. We've got a pretty big feature board, things we've been wanting to implement for a while, but just haven't really had I was just about to mention customer receipts. Yeah. So that's one of them, is like custom receipts, is just making sure our front end developers have a way to access all the data that you would want to put in a receipt. And so um, that's one of the things we're working on right now, is just being able to provide that kind of data for them, and then that code is actually there. Like, we've had custom receipts, we just haven't had the data to drive it. So that's one of those features that should be coming pretty soon, pending no craziness on that front. So if you're familiar with uh, what they call mustache templates, which you've probably seen before, but it's where you wrap things in curly braces. A lot of Shopify email templates and things like that. If you use the order management app, it's kind of that sort of templating. You'll be able to build your receipt out like that. So you can put whatever data is available on that receipt. Standard theme wish list coming to premium theme. I need to check on that one. My rule of thumb is if it's on standard theme, it should be on premium theme. So yeah, definitely we'll make a note of that to see if it's something that's in the works, because it should be. So yeah, we don't want premium theme to be premium, right? There shouldn't be anything in standard theme. It's not in premium, but I know, for those of you guys who know, we've got a couple developers, and Reese and Luke, and they've been working pretty hard on the new standard theme, getting that polished up. And so if there's been anybody on premium sees something on standard that's like, hey, that's please let us know, because that was not our intention. Sometimes when you're doing something, though, you get a little excited and put a little bit too much effort into it. Any eBay updates covered? We hadn't talked about eBay today. Yeah, so I mean, it's still kind of in its beta state. We're pushing through bugs. Yeah, I know a lot of you guys are experiencing some minor issues. If even you're experiencing major issues, please keep on us about that. We've got another developer that's going to be coming in to help with that towards the end of this month. So hopefully we'll have a little bit more coverage on eBay. eBay's been around for a long time, and that means their technology's been around for a long time, and it's tough working with their APIs. It's a lot different than companies that are kind of new and have things maintained. So we're definitely getting through it, and hopefully we'll slowly get it polished to the point where everybody's happy with it. But please, any feedback, it's not bad. Send tickets. We will get those organized and on the table for someone to take care of as fast as we can. All right. Awesome. Well, I hope everybody has a great day. I hope this kind of midday one worked out for some of you guys. And yeah, I will see y'all next month. Have a good one, everybody.